Welcome to the Legion of Lean podcast, where we battle mediocrity and build the best versions of ourselves. Get ready to transform.
Welcome to the Legion of Lean podcast. My lovely co-host, Korey Eggleston. You're not that lovely, to be honest with you. I prefer a long-legged blonde or my wife. I'll just go with my wife. I prefer my wife to be on here.
Yes. Be safe.
Yeah, that's smart. Let's not get a divorce after this podcast over. That's probably what I need to do. I think today what we'll talk about, Korey, we'll just go spontaneous. The lies you believe to keep you fat. The lies you believe to get. And first of all, I lied to myself a lot. I was on vacation, and I haven't talked to you a lot, so I haven't debriefed you since your vacation. But I told myself a lot of lies on vacation. Just like, it's amazing because we talked about how I can exhibit supernatural self-control, something fast for 14 days, just water fast for 21 days, and then just come off, eat Edie's Grand ice cream. I had a whole gallon of Edie's Grand ice cream. I talk so fast because I'm passionate, I'm angry. I'm still mad at that ice cream. I did a 14-day fast, Korey, and I finished it, and I had Edie's Grand ice cream. It's like go from real self-discipline, all in, to just, I don't give a rip. I'm just eating this. It's amazing what I can do. But today we're going to talk to Korey. And Korey, I'm going to talk about the lies I told myself on vacation. And we're going to talk about Korey, who went on vacation. I did a 21-day vacation. Korey, how many days were you on vacation? Like 10?
For 7 days. 7 days.
7 days. 7 days. I went to California, drove to California.
Yeah.
And Korey, where'd you go? You went to Cancun,
went to
right?
Cancun. Yeah, Cancun.
Beautiful place.
It's great.
Well, Korey, you just give me what you did, and I'll tell, for every time you talk about what you did, I'll tell you the lie. Yeah. If I didn't tell myself, the lie that kept me eating cupcakes. I didn't do bad, by the way, because I'm not going to say I didn't do as bad as what most people does. For myself, I give myself a fat F. But for reality, normal people, Korey, I give myself a C, C minus, C. Yeah. It could be a C plus if you're grading the curve. So you tell me what you did on vacation. How did it go?
Yeah.
And how good did you do? How bad did you do? Were you the fittest person? Were you the fittest person on the beach? Don't be modest. Tell me the truth.
I would say. I mean, I would like to say, top 5. Maybe that I saw there. So, but again, that's not the ultimate goal, right? But I would say, the lies that keep you fat. I would say I'm almost like the opposite, right? So I psych myself out so much that I have to try to follow my plan even more because I'm afraid of what will happen. So so it, and again, that's me. It's like, well, hey, how many rest days do you take a week? Well, I try to take one, but it's hard for me to take one because I psych myself out so much that if I don't go to the gym that day, I'm going to fall off or or I need to be active of some kind. Now I know that's not the case, right? So, but I'll at least try to get some steps in or something like that. Anyway, so went to Cancun for a week. It was great. Went there. We on a previous podcast we talked about what do I do? What do you do when we go on vacation to try to stay on track, right? So this is kind of so I take my protein with me, took my pre-workout with me, because I need those things. As we're leaving St. Louis, right? So I live in St. Louis, flying out of St. Louis, going through TSA. My bag, I look at my wife and go, they're gonna check my bag. And so of course, because I've got my total protein in there, so I don't know if they either think it's an explosive, some sort of drug I'm trying to smuggle into Mexico, right? I'd be the first guy to try to smuggle drugs into Mexico, right? But so the guy pulls it out. He looks at my bag, looks at me, and goes, "You got some protein in here?" I said, "Yes, sir, I do." So he pulls it out. He does it. He looks at the container. He just does this little swab, tests it, makes sure it's all good, sends me on my way. Fast forward, so I'll go back to during my trip, but coming back from Mexico again, I still have my protein. Going through TSA there, this little Mexican lady, sweet as can be. You have protein in your bag? I do. Okay. I figured that's what she said. I figured, and then just let me on my way. So, it's not so that's kind of funny. But anyway, so while I'm there, like I said, I try to stay on track as much as I can. I still try to get at least a 45-minute workout in every day. I sent down a video of the gym there, and so that's why I'm very fortunate where we go because the gym is phenomenal. I mean, it's got everything you need. It's not like I've been to hotel gyms and it's a treadmill, 3 dumbbells, and then like the washer and dryer machines in there too, right? So it's like the laundry mat slash fitness room. Or maybe you go and it's just a treadmill. So anyway, so it's got everything you need. It's got cables, it's got dumbbells up to 100 pounds, it's got a whole bunch of treadmills, machines. It's great. And so I still get up early. I still get up, about 6 or 6:30, get in there before my family wakes up, and I'm home before we go out, or back to our room before we go to breakfast. But the thing that I did is, I mean, just because I like it, I guess, like I still eat my whole food. So I still get a plate of the chicken, and they get great rice and things like that. So I still eat that for lunch. For dinner, there's usually always a steak option or a chicken option, and I get that just because that's what I love to eat. Now I will get some of the the tamales because I love those, or some if they have fresh tacos that they're making at the restaurant, I'll get those too. But again, and it's all still whole foods, right? I'm not eating gas station chips and Twinkies and things like that. So it's still all whole foods. So I end up, and my wife gets mad at me because she's like, whatever, it is what it is. I end up losing 2 pounds on vacation at an all-inclusive resort in Mexico before we come back. Now, again, that's not, if you gain a couple pounds on vacation, that's fine. I also don't drink. So like at an all-inclusive resort, most people that go, right, what do they indulge? I mean, they're throwing back half a dozen margaritas, 12 beers a day. So like, I'm not doing those things. So I'm not drinking those liquid calories either. I'm just drinking a lot of water. I'll drink some pineapple juice because I love it when we're down there. But so, yeah, I mean, like, again, I would say that's not the norm. Losing weight on vacation is definitely not the norm. But I mean, a lot of movement though too. Like we were moving all day. We're swimming, we're walking, we're doing this, we're doing that, we're biking. So we're not just sitting down. We're moving a whole lot. I got 2 kids, 7 and 4. So we don't sit still, right? We're always moving around. So I will say, like, so I turned 36 while I was there. And I definitely, I feel like I told my wife, I think I took it a little easier on the desserts this time around. And I don't know, maybe psychologically, I'm 36 now, I can't eat as much, but I just didn't have, I'm a sweets guy, I'll tell you that. And I just did not have the desire to go and really indulge on those as much as I have in the past. So, and I think it's probably where I just came from, right? I just finished that prep in April, the contest. So, and definitely no sweets then. So I think just kind of, I've transformed my body and my mind a little bit to not crave those as much.
Oh yeah, that's amazing. You didn't have any desserts, or very few desserts. I'm proud of you.
I definitely had a few. My birthday was the second day we were there. My wife set up a dinner there, a steak at the steakhouse, and they brought out a cake. And I, of course, I had a couple of cake.
That's no problem. We're overindulging. You didn't have a whole cake, which is good.
Exactly.
That's amazing. And also, if you know anything about bodybuilding, like Korey did, Korey eats so much food, it's insane. I don't know how many calories are in it, probably 4,500, 4,000, over 4,000 calories. Yeah. And whenever you're eating nothing but chicken and rice and good food, you got to eat a lot of good food. You got to eat a lot of good food to get 4,000 calories. You don't have to eat a lot of McDonald's to get a lot of calories in. But whenever you're eating chicken breast, rice, eggs, egg whites, protein shakes, it's a ton of food. It's a ton of volume of food. And so what's amazing about somebody like Korey, you go on vacation and you could eat 10x more than anybody else could. You can. If you let yourself go, you need a whole birthday cake because how much volume, your stomach is bigger than most people because you eat so much quantities of food. Anyway, a head of lettuce is 100 calories. Not that you graze on lettuce like that, but the deal is it's low calorie food that you're putting in your body. So that's very good. Yeah. I think a lot of people in the United States, we eat to get full instead of the stomach full rather than brain full. And now our food tricks us because food is so calorie dense. This is a great thing I just learned. Literally just learned this recently, because the one thing about me is I'm all in, and I'll be like, I got to eat 12 ounces or 15 ounces of chicken breast. I don't like chicken breast that much to eat 15 ounces at one time, but I know I got to get 250 grams of protein a day. And where's my sources for the day? Yeah. Now what I do, and this is totally off topic, but Korey, this is brilliant. I don't know why I didn't think of it before. I'll have like 5 ounces at a time rather than 50 ounces, because just as soon as I get full, what's amazing about God's food, just as soon as you start getting brain full on it, the next bites will be disgusting for you. And it's not the same thing with cupcakes. I'll tell you that right now, because I can shove down 13, and I did one time. But you know what I'm saying? It's fascinating. I just got that revelation the other day, because I've been on my plan. I've been on plans forever. But what I would do when I was younger, it'd be like, I'd have 2 cans of tuna one time. I hate tuna, but I get tuna in spring water, the dolphin stuff, the full dolphin kind, not the dolphin free stuff. It had a dolphin fin in it, probably. You know what I'm saying? the other can, it says dolphin free.
Yeah,
No, I
yeah,
said,
yeah,
mine's
yeah.
a little cheaper because mine's got all the dolphin in it. But I would get 2 cans. I firmly believe that whenever I get to heaven, I can't wait to talk to Jesus. So I'm gonna say, Jesus, whenever you broke the fishes, you broke the 5 fishes. You know the story. I think it's 2 fishes and 5 loaves of bread. Whenever you broke the fish, because I've had this happen, was it tuna? He said, why would you think that? Because it's amazing. I've ate tuna and I've seen it multiply in my plate. I've been eating this for like 10 minutes
I
and
agree.
it's not
I
went
agree.
down. I hate it. But what I've learned, just recently, I said all that to say this. I had 5 ounces of chicken the other day, and that's it. I said, I'm just going to eat 5 ounces. So just as soon as my brain says I'm done, I'm going to be done. And then I'll eat again in a couple hours. I don't know why I didn't get that epiphany. I would eat 6 meals a day, but I'd try to get I'm going to get 20 ounces. I'm going to eat the whole hen. I'm going to freaking eat the whole rooster. I'll just rip its head off and eat right there. It was just so crazy. Obviously not that. That's an exaggeration what I did. I hope people understand that anyway. But I try to eat so much chicken, it's insane. And then by the 15th bite, I'm like, now like the 15th ounce, I'm like, I hate chicken. Yeah, it's because you ate too much of it this time. Eat just small portions of it throughout the day to get your protein in. I don't know. I said
sure.
that's a freebie, but I would say the lie I told myself while you were just living in sweet victory was, hey, you know what? I'll just start when I get back. That's what I thought.
That's a big one. Yeah.
Everybody does that. But the deal is, I'll be fair to myself because I like it. I drank a lot of protein shakes all the way out there. I said, I'm staying on them. Didn't have anything bad. I drank protein shakes. I had protein bars. Everything I said in the previous podcast, I did all the way out there. I
Yeah.
didn't have anything bad. I didn't drink any soda, which is good because I love Coca-Cola products. Didn't have any soda when I was out there. So those are the pros. Also, this, Korey, you know the story about me eating 13 cupcakes? Yeah, I ate 13 cupcakes one sitting, one eating contest when I met my father-in-law. That's great. I don't even get a trophy for it. Don't even kids bragging rights, with the Nathan not dog eaters, they can have 15. I had 13 cupcakes. USOB, look what I did. But when I went out there this time, my mother-in-law got me cupcakes because obviously that's my nickname, Cupcake. She got me just 4. What the downturn economy? Just 4? I mean, typically you give me 2 dozen. I mean, to break my. I only ate 1 a day. That's pretty good. I say, I pat myself. That's not too bad. I gave myself a C minus, but no. The reason why I gave myself a C minus is because I made an excuse. So I went out there. I walked a lot. I didn't work out one blank in time I was out there. I lost the bands. I was going to take bands. I don't know where the bands are. My wife said, where's the bands? I don't know where the bands are. Go, you look in the garage. I looked in the garage. You're the one. It's all your crap. Go find it. Go find the basement. Good luck. So I don't know where the bands are. I didn't do it. So I could have bought bands. I could have spent $75 to go for a gym for a week. I didn't do it. I was at Carmel for like 5 days. I was in Roseville 5 days, on the road for 7 days or 6 days rather. And so all that time is just like it's lots of excuses. I should have bought bands at least. I did get my steps in, but I told myself I will just get back whenever I'll just start back when I get back. That's what I said. And that's a big lie people say. Now the deal is I had a real come to Jesus meeting with myself. Jesus was really mad at me, And so I said, I'm not going to do it again. And so I got back on it. And that's good. I owned it. What's the worst thing you can do when you fall down? The Bible says the righteous man falls 7 times, rises again. So you just get back up. I don't beat myself up. I tell funny stories. But that's about it. So if you fell off the wagon, if it's in July, August, whenever you listen to this, September, whatever it is, if you fell off the wagon, get back on. That's what you can do. If you told yourself that you're going to do it tomorrow, no, start today. But if you fall in my shoes and you did what I do, don't beat yourself up. If you fall off a horse, what do? You get back on the horse and ride it.
That's right.
It's a dead horse.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's my thing. What do you think about that? What's one that you would say? So I'd say.
I think one thing that people say all the time is like anything in moderation is okay. And I think people take that to like an extreme, right? They're like, oh, well, if I just have, what is moderation for you might be different for someone else, right? So, hey, well, typically I have 13 cupcakes. So moderation for me is 5 cupcakes, right? Well, no, that's still not good. So while I do agree with that, I think it's, everything in moderation is okay. Like if you're going on vacation and then you can kind of use that example of everything in moderation. Okay. But I do feel like that is something that, people take and they kind of run with it. We've talked about the alcohol before, and neither one of us drink alcohol, but if you do, it's fine. We're not judging you. But moderation is like, okay, well, what is it? You go out one night a week and have 13 drinks? Well, that's not okay. That's not good to go out and have 13 drinks. Are you having one drink a night? Okay, well, that's better probably. Probably still want to cut that back too. But anyway, so I think that's one lie that people like to tell themselves is everything in moderation is okay.
So true.
And so like, the 90-10 rule is kind of like what we live by. 90% of the time you want to eat as clean as you can. 10% of the time, and I use that 10%, I kind of put it in the bank for like if we're invited out to dinner or we're going to someone's house, because I don't want to sit there and be like, I'm not going to eat that. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't have that. Like, oh, it looks great, but I'm not going to eat it. So I'm going to go there. I'm going to eat what they make. I'm going to have a good time. But that's my 10% maybe for the 14 days or for 10 days or whatever it is, and the other 90%. So the other 9 days, I'm going to eat clean like I do, which is not. Again, I'm not trying to be like I'm like this great person that does all these great things. But it's just become such a routine for me. Like you said, the routine is important. So it's become such a routine for me to eat the same things. And I enjoy it. We had this conversation, 2 years ago when we started together? Was it? Yeah, I think it was. Where's the last? I don't know when it was. Anyway, but you were asking me and I was like, I enjoy eating chicken and rice. I enjoy the beef and rice, the red meat, stuff like that. So like, you're like, well, that makes it easier for me because I don't have to try and force you to change your diet all that much.
Yeah.
So that's just the routine for me. My wife knows, like, she'll make some things for dinner and I'll eat with them and we'll all eat together. But dad sometimes has his own food and that's fine. My kids get it. My wife gets it. We all eat together still as a family, but sometimes I'll have something different than everyone else, which is fine.
I love the fact that's one that I didn't even think about. Anything in moderation. So true. I think people use that as a cliche and a cloak to justify stupid decisions. It's like,
for sure.
Anything in moderation. The guy that does the heroin, well, anything in moderation. You know what I'm saying? No, not at all. It's so fun. I think it's just a excuse for an undisciplined action that's going to keep them away from success.
There's a lot of those too. Yeah, exactly.
God,
I think people talk about too is it's like, I don't want to overwork I don't want to work out too much. Right? I'm like, I get it, but like, unless you're Brian Shaw, if you don't know who Brian Shaw is, he's like the strongest man to ever live. Unless you're working out like this guy, lifting 500 pounds regularly, like you're not like, I work out as hard as I can and I can't. It's hard for me to even get to the point where I can't go the next day. While I understand that people say like you need rest days, unless you're Mr. Olympia, Ronnie Coleman, Jay Cutler, these guys, like, it's very hard for you to reach that point. You gotta understand that too. It's like you can go 5 days a week, 5 days in a row, and you'll be fine. You're not going to overwork yourself. So,
it's the whole David Goggins thing. You've seen David Goggins. David Goggins pushes his body. You know what David Goggins?
That guy is a freak. Yeah,
he's doing exactly. He's on the other side of the spectrum. I think there's
crazy.
Everything in moderation. I would say that to that guy. But the deal is, I don't want to work out too hard. It's such a lie. I'm saying most people underwork. Say just a little bit of pain. I remember my mom. I'd be sore after working out. So you gotta watch out. My mom never lifted a weight. A skinny woman, like 110 pounds, 5'5", just tiny. But I remember one time she worked out and she was sore and she thought something was wrong with her because she never did any kind of manual labor. She said, my arms are so sore. This can't be healthy. No, you just never worked those muscles before. Literally, I don't know. The noodle arms, like spaghetti arms. Anyway, but I don't want to work out too hard. That's such a cliche. I would say the caveat on this is the United States. We got a bunch of deconditioned, sedentary people. And so you could overwork for this. It's like, I know all kinds of people. You gotta be smart, but don't use that as an excuse. You got to get in the gym. You got to do the work, and then once you're conditioned enough to work out and not hurt yourself, but
not hurt yourself. Yeah, we want to make sure you're not hurting yourself, but you can go multiple. Yeah,
and obviously it's like this. It's like you're not going to work out with Korey's program. I mean, I train people, all kinds of people, all different shapes and sizes, and it's amazing how people. They got pre-existing injuries. You don't want to, there's some things you don't want to do. Listen to your body, but don't let that excuse, listen to your body, be an excuse for inaction. And people, that's another excuse. I'm listening to my body. No, you're not. You're just freaking fat and lazy. That's unfortunately a fact. A lot of you, no, you're not. You're not listening to your body. I think that one too is, I eat pretty healthy. You ever heard that one? I eat pretty healthy.
I eat pretty healthy. And then you ask them to tell you what they ate. They can't remember. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah. Hey, I eat pretty healthy. Everybody says that. I get this too, Korey. It's like people in conversation. I know how to eat. Yeah, I don't think you do. If you do, you're stupid. You know what I'm saying? You're not doing it. So, well, you think I believe? Yeah, but I think they really believe that I know how to eat. I know how to eat, right? And then they'll give me something like, I don't want to have too much protein. It's bad for the kidneys. So I was like, okay. Yeah.
I hear that one too.
I had one client tell me one time, I talked about water, a gallon of water a day. And they said, well, I don't want to drink too much water. It's bad for the kidneys. Guy freaking drank a dozen beer a night. You know what I'm saying? Are you freaking dumb? That's a true story. He drink worried about his kidneys with water. Yeah, you got to be careful with the water.
Or it's the same thing. It's like the protein powders. Like, those are bad for you. Yeah, well, you went out and drank 3 Red Bull vodkas last night. Like, I don't think. So you're going to put those. It's kind of like, it is. Hey, but everyone has their own.
One thing that I hate to do too, a lot of times, I'm telling you, there's exception to every rule. Obviously, this isn't thus saith the Lord. There is exceptions to every rule. That's the reason why I said about you want to make sure you're not deconditioned. You're not going to train like Korey when you first start. But Korey's an absolute fact what he just said. There's not loopholes to that system. If you want a great body, you want to be healthy, you got to put in the work. And laziness don't get it. But obviously, if you got a torn rotator cuff, you don't need to be doing shoulder press over the head. You know what I'm saying? It's just common sense. But people are like, I can't do it because of that. So they make excuses. But what's funny is sometimes I will give people, because there is exceptions to every rule, but people will make if I give somebody an exception to a rule, somehow they'll own that exception. Like, that's me. That ain't you. I was just giving you the one exception I had. I'll tell you this real quick. I had a client one time. Which one do I want to say? Because I got a ton of them. She said, this person's freaking top 0.01% of the population of women. She's 46 years old, got 6 kids she gave birth with. Her husband is a farmer. They got their own farm, got 1,000 acres, raise their own cattle, raise their own chickens, raise their own everything they raise, all organic, everything. She eats cleaner than you do, Korey, which is like, you're like in the 1%. She eats so clean, it's ridiculous to the tour. She stays in contest shape year round. She's like 8 weeks out at any given point. And that's really hard for somebody, especially going through, premenopause, to stay there with all the hormones going on. And then whenever you know how her body was and toward all the medical problems she overcame, it's insane. I'm talking about for every dogmatic thing we say, there's an exception. She said this one time. She said she had stomach pain, and so I look at her meal plan, and we're great friends. I mean, we talk every 2 weeks like I do my clients. And I was looking at her meal plan. She's freaking lean, and also a lot of times whenever somebody's really fit, I make an exception. They're not really hurting, because I can understand if somebody's overweight. Like, if you tell me something that's wrong with you physically, I'm saying ain't nothing. Korey's going to beat it. And I'm not going to underestimate your pain, but I also know you're a fighter and you'll get through it, and it ain't that big a deal. Now, if somebody tells me that weighs 300 or 400 pounds that they're sick and they got this, I'm thinking, I believe it. Not only do I believe it, but I understand. I'm more sympathetic. I'm not going to be sympathetic to you, not because I'll understand it hurts and I understand you're going to overcome it, but in my head, it's not going to lodge in my head and say, this is the main concern. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not going to underestimate your pain, but I'm saying it's going to go away. It's Korey Eggleston, man. He's freaking Superman. It's fine. It's bounced off. Well, that's what, every time I talk to this woman, that's what I say, because I looked at her meal plan. It's like perfect. Every time she would look at it, I would talk to myself. And sometimes I think I believe in God, I believe the Holy Spirit. So I believe that God would tell me this is what it is, and I just ignore that voice. I'd be talking to her. And because of all the rhetoric behind red meat, anti-red meat people, which are nuts, they'd be like, I would read her diet, and I would say, I get to the red meat. And she has stomach pain. Back to the point I was making. She has stomach pain, really, really bad stomach pain, deliberate stomach pain. But she was so tough, she wouldn't really talk about that much. But as a coach, I'm trying to figure out what's going on and what's the food. And I'd always look at it and say, it can't be the food. I don't know what it is, but you'll get over it. That's why I say you're going to get over it. And she'd agree, yeah, I'm going to get over it. Because she was like that faith kind of person. I believe it. Anyway, so I get to her meal plan. I look at it and say, it can't be the beef. I say, it can't be. I get pissed because it can't be the beef, because you know all the rhetoric behind red meat. Oh, red meat's so bad, it causes all these problems. No, it's not red meat. It's freaking Hostess snack cakes and Little Debbie. That little whore is causing all kinds of problems. So, and I love her, but she's a hoe. And so I'd be like, It can't be the beef. I get ticked because I hear the stuff, and I'm not saying red meat's the best for you, but it's not. It shouldn't be demonized like it is while we're eating all kinds of crap. Talking about we don't demonize Twizzlers. It's low fat, but red meat, man, we can't eat that. It's bull crap. Anyway, so every time I'd see it, I'd say, it can't be the beef. And I'd be pissed. You can see I'd get very vagrant angry. And she felt the same way. She's a cattle farmer. She's got a vested interest. It's not the beef. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, she said it's not the beef. We both agreed. We'd make fun of those people who hate beef. You know what I'm saying? Like those freaking nut job vegans are idiots. And we'd make fun of some people for a while. And then the next week, 2 weeks later, I talked to her again. I said, how you feeling? And she'd be like, I'm still struggling. I said, okay, man. And I'd look at it again. Man, I tell you what, we could tweak this, we'll get rid of this, but it's just perfect. I don't know how to get rid of it even more. Let's get rid of the vegetables, obviously. But this red meat, I'd say, those stupid beef people. The beef people. It's not the beef. I get pissed again. I blame every vegan in the world. The idiot vegans are morons. So she went to Gulf Shores one time. I'm telling you, the exception everywhere. She went to Gulf Shores. She had fish all week long. She calls me. Bi-weekly call. I said, how you feeling, Andrew? And she said, I'm feeling great, man. I feel great. And she's very positive. I said, I'm feeling great. I said, how's your stomach? She said, Don, it's 100% better. I said, what happened? And she said, I went to Gulf Shores. She said, I had fish all week long. I came home. I didn't have a stomach pain. I realized, oh my gosh, 4 days in, I was came back. And she said, I made my husband red beans, rice, and beef. And I had one bite and my stomach started hurting so bad, it's ridiculous. And I said, well, don't do that. That doesn't make any sense. Then I said, I don't know how it can be the beef. How can it be the beef? It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, so she went to the doctor. And I said, don't have beef. I said, don't have it. I don't understand it, but don't eat it. I went from that, but I believe God was telling me, hey, it's the beef. And I'd say, you idiot. You're saying it ain't the beef. It's sad that I was calling God an idiot, but sometimes we think we're smarter than him. But I know it was something in me that was rising up beef. And I say, it ain't freaking beef. The vegan in me, get out of here. And I was casting demons out of myself. And it was God all the time telling me, it's the beef, it's the beef, it's the beef. No, it's not. Anyway, so she said, she went to the doctor, diagnosed her with alpha-Gall's syndrome, which she got bit by a tick and she was allergic to beef. Oh, I said all that because of this. I said all that because people make excuses. And if I tell the story as a one-off, they'll own it. I probably got alpha-Gall's. I can't eat that. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, whatever you give people sometimes, they'll just roll with it. That's the reason why I can't get it. They'll own whatever it is. I can't stand that mentality. It's like, yeah, don't be attached to the victim, to the problem. Be attached to the solution. And she was. That's the reason why she got out of the problem. Now she's feeling great. She actually said it was so bad she thought about committing suicide. I said, "My God!" She said, "I wasn't going to be a hamper on my family, so I was going to shoot myself." I said, "But I was trying to figure a way to do it where I wouldn't look obvious." I said, "That's awful, man. Why didn't you tell me that? I would have said it's not the beef." Anyway, but I don't know why I said that. I don't know how I tied that in. I think I tied it in with people will take the exception and make it
and run with it,
with it, and that's it. Anyway, we told a few. I think we did pretty decent. I mean,
I think so too. I think it's
Quit telling yourself lies.
Find a plan and stick to it. Yeah, find a plan and stick to it. And if you follow a plan, it's going to work, right? I mean, for the most part, if you find a good plan.
If you find a good plan, it's going to work. And people always I'll tell you this too at the end of this. You're not going to do the Korey's kid. Korey's got a great plan. You're not going to do Korey's plan. Maybe you first start out, you're going to do the kind of that plan. Yeah, if I were to give you, Korey, if I'd have met you 10 years ago when you first started, I said, this is all you're going to do. I give you all this stuff. I give you the papers. This is everything you're going to do today. It'd be like overwhelming. You had to step up to that way. And so you got to get on a plan that works for you. What you're willing to do versus what you can't do. What are you really willing to do? If you're only willing to work on 3 days a week, so be it. If you're only willing to work on 2 days, at least be honest with yourself and say that's all I'm going to do. Because tying yourself to a commitment that you're not going to do, you're just lying to yourself. So hey, I'm not willing to give up cupcakes. So, okay, at least we got something to work with. I know you're not going to do it, so now I got to fit them in. Have a real conversation with yourself, and then understand there's no such thing as a perfect plan. There's not. There can be better plans, but a good plan that you adhere to is better than the best plan you're never going to do. So I'm not, we talked about David Goggins. I don't know if we talked about it in this podcast, but maybe before we talked about David Goggins, I'm not going to run an ultra marathon. I'm not going to do it. I have no desire to. He called me a bad name. I don't care. was going to say pussy, but I'm not going to say that. But he could call me whatever you want to call me. I don't care. I'm not going to freaking run out the marathon. You say you're not disciplined. That's fine. I'm not going to do 10,000 push-ups right now. It's not going to happen. Not going to do it. And he's a great dude. But so that plan for me wouldn't work because I know myself enough to know I wouldn't do it. And that's what you got to tell yourself. What are you willing to do versus what you can do? I like the podcast. I think it was good. The lies that keep you tied to no results. That's not the name of the podcast. The name of the podcast are the lies that keep the lies you believe that keep you fat. But I think people tell themselves lies all the time. They believe a lot of lies. And I could go on millions of stories because I train thousands of people that tell themselves lies, and I got to sit through this like Madlock. You remember Madlock? I think they got a new Madlock show. It's a chick.
I remember seeing it. It would come on like, I don't know, when I was homesick from school as a kid, it would come on like one of the regular TV channels, like after Price is Right or something.
My grandma loved Madlock.
What's this black and white show or whatever it was?
I remember Madlock. It was awesome. Madlock, like 7 seasons. That lawyer, he didn't lose one court case, not one court case in 7 seasons. And he lost one. Get this, he lost one. Get this. This is how a man of integrity Madlock was. He lost one case. He wasn't just a lawyer, he was a detective. He lost one case. And I remember he was so distressed because he lost the case. He had a nervous breakdown because he's like, this is shocking. This guy's 2000 and 0. You know what I'm saying? This is amazing. How did this happen? It's like whenever the Patriots lost to the Giants in the Super Bowl. It's like, this shouldn't have happened. This is a joke. And he lost the case. The next episode, which I hope I don't spoil this for people because I know there's a lot of Matlock fans out there. He found out the guy he defended, who he's defended for murder, literally murdered his wife, and he was defending the guy. And so it turned out best because he tried to murder Matlock. I said, gosh, it worked out for the best. That's amazing. So Matlock was wrong, but he ended up right in the end. He was like, I don't know how this, I have all the facts. This guy's innocent. Anyway, that's free. By the way, how you like this shirt? You get this shirt, putting the mask back into masculinity. You got this shirt, Korey. Gave you this shirt. Yeah. You get it at straightsculpting.com. If you like the podcast, like, subscribe. I'm going to put the Korey Eggleston's Instagram handle on the show notes below and mine. Please follow us. Please listen. I hope you liked it. I hope it helped you. And stay tuned for the next podcast. I think it's going to be better.
Awesome.
I hope you enjoyed the Legion of Lean podcast.